Friends, hello. Have you ever wondered that sometimes just one seemingly insignificant action can undermine your cat's trust for a long time? Some owners completely overlook tiny moments that, in the eyes of the pet, remain a significant trauma for many years. To better understand the nature of such mistakes, let's embark on an exciting journey into the world of our whiskered, tailed, and very sensitive friends. What can destroy the friendship between you and your cat? The main factor here is improper behavior by the owner. From our video, you will learn how some everyday and seemingly harmless actions by humans can lead to the disappearance of harmony and mutual understanding between you and your beloved pet. Point 1. Loud noises. You have probably heard that cats have an amazing trait. Their ears possess extremely fine sensitivity. They can detect things that humans sometimes simply do not hear. In the wild, this ability helps furry hunters survive and react in time to any rustling. However, in an apartment where there is no opportunity to hide or escape from sudden noises, this natural advantage turns into almost a curse. The roar of the washing machine, the whine of the vacuum cleaner, the sound of TV programs, all these merge into a continuous hum for the cat, becoming part of its daily life. Cats perceive loud sounds as threats, as if someone menacing is steadily approaching. If a cat lives in such an atmosphere every day, the mounting stress can weaken its health. The animal may hide more often or exhibit aggression. These behavioral signals indicate constant tension in an attempt to protect itself. Point 2. Tugging and teasing. Unfortunately, some owners consider cats not as sentient beings, but as a kind of living toy. They might tug the pet at their will, grab them at the most unexpected moments, wake them up whenever they feel like it, or worse, deliberately pull their tail. I once heard advice along the lines of, a cat will bite you in the mornings, and if you wake her while she sleeps, she will bite you, and you will nibble her. Such recommendations are not only useless, but downright absurd. Why? Because cats, unlike humans, do not perceive such a joke as harmless. On the contrary, they vividly remember all traumatizing events, especially if they are directly related to the owner's actions. Any teasing, shouting, or meaningless games are imprinted extremely negatively on the pet's behavior and develop in a deep distrust. And believe me, a cat can remember such innocent jokes all its life. In some cases, excessive teasing can lead to a condition known as hypersensitization syndrome. If this occurs, the cat becomes incredibly sensitive to any touches. It may develop a habit of biting or instantly fleeing as soon as you try to pet it. Such a reaction is an alarming sign indicating a high level of irritation and internal tension. To preserve genuine friendship and mutual understanding with your tailed companion, adhere to a gentle, caring approach. Be aware of how strongly cats perceive surrounding sounds and how painfully they react to tugging and teasing. Respect the pet's personal space, as it too wants to live without constant threats and stress. Consider these important points, and your cat will undoubtedly respond with trust and warm affection. And to stay updated on other nuances of caring for our whiskered friends, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. There's much interesting ahead. Point 3. Rough play. It is often heard, a rather widespread and incorrect opinion, that cats love to bite, supposedly because by nature they tend toward rather harsh play techniques. But in reality, cats are, to put it bluntly, just continuing the amusements we have taught them. During playful antics, they train their natural skills, tracking, sudden attacks, biting. However, the moment this mischief becomes excessively rough, our furry pets can become confused and experience fear or an outburst of aggression, as they do not understand why their human companion suddenly becomes potential prey. If during play with a small kitten you allow it to bite your hands or legs, the animal gets used to scratching and biting human skin as something natural. It may initially seem like fun, but as the cat grows, such a habit does not disappear, and the bites will feel much more painful. The owner may start reacting differently, for example, slapping its head or raising their voice. No, don't bite. In doing so, the cat is unable to understand the sudden change in the owner's mood and begins to see them as a source of danger. Point 4. Demanding strict discipline. Many people believe that strict discipline is necessary in the process of training a cat. For example, sharp phrases, "Ricky, face the wall," or "You're doing something wrong," as well as the use of even a water spray bottle. Unfortunately, some veterinarians also recommend such methods, although in practice they only complicate the situation you were trying to fix. Cats do not need to be trained in the conventional sense. Instead, you should strive to understand them, taking into account their innate tendencies. Any harsh discipline ultimately breeds anxiety in the pet and possibly aggression, as they do not associate punishment with their actions. Yes, some may think, no, it's not like that, but in most cases, the cat simply starts to fear the owner. It seems as if it has learned something, although in reality, it is a scared animal. Research on this topic shows that cats are capable of learning many things provided with positive motivation. If they are rewarded instead of scolded, they are more eager to repeat actions that bring them pleasant rewards, whether it's a treat, a gentle pet, or a simple kind word. Point 5. Disrupting the cat's ritual. This is indeed a very significant moment in a cat's life. There is a well-known saying for a reason. Cats are part of our world, but we are their entire world. For a cat, every moment of interaction with a human is incredibly valuable, as they do not have many ways or much time to communicate with their primary universe, that is, with us. That is why a daily cat ritual is of colossal importance. Let me share a practical case. I have a cat named Alex, and he is a completely black beauty. Every evening, when I take a bath, Alex jumps onto the washing machine and watches me attentively. It has become a real tradition for him. Once, I accidentally turned on the washing machine while the cat was supposed to be peacefully resting on it. Since the machine was vibrating, Alex could not occupy his usual spot, and this disrupted his routine. Oh my God! How he yowled! He chased me and demanded attention all evening, and I couldn't understand what happened. It turned out that the cat was upset that his usual ritual was abruptly disturbed. This happens with every pet. Some jump onto their owner's chest in the morning. Others demand to be petted in the middle of the workday. Some must nap nearby in the armchair while you read a book. Such seemingly minor details have monumental significance for the internal world of cats. After all, it's not just about caring for their appearance or cleanliness, but about showing living attention necessary for a tailed creature to feel loved and maintain emotional balance. By the way, share your stories about your furry friends' rituals in the comments. I am extremely interested to hear more about them. Very curious. Point 6. Disrespecting the cat's territory. I want to tell you two truly fascinating real-life stories, heard from two different veterinarians. First, let me share the first one. A young woman came to the veterinary clinic with her cat, who was ultimately diagnosed with cystitis. Veterinary specialists concluded that it was idiopathic cystitis. For those who are not yet aware, cystitis is an unpleasant condition, and idiopathic cystitis is caused by stress. So, the owner was completely puzzled. My cat is surrounded by love. There are no new people. We have peace and quiet. What's stress? What are you talking about? Only a good cat psychologist figured out the root of the problem. The owners had recently remodeled and moved the armchair where their beloved used to rest. The event is quite real. They simply moved the armchair to another corner of the room, and as a result, the cat fell ill. As soon as the armchair was returned to its previous place, the cystitis disappeared. Another story, a completely similar situation, same cystitis. However, it turned out that one day the owner decided to close the bathroom door. Until then, the door had always remained open, but suddenly she thought, why not close it? And unexpectedly, the cat lost a significant part of its familiar territory. Who could have expected? But as soon as the cat began to have health problems, the door was opened again, and everything became fine. The thing is that cats, fortunately or unfortunately, by nature, are creatures with a strong attachment to their territory. This means that not only their favorite spot is important to them, but also the entire surrounding environment, and any movement of objects can seriously upset them. For example, a bed, toys, or even the litter box are not just things, but a significant part of their world. Problems with access to their domains can cause serious stress. Again, There are studies indicating that cats whose habitat zone remains unchanged and always accessible usually appear more confident and are less prone to stressful states. Imagine, you give your cat the opportunity to be on an elevated spot or on special shelves that allow them to observe everything happening below. And then suddenly you remove all the high vantage points from which the cat could calmly and safely survey their domain, gaining comfort and confidence. Think about whether your pet has these shelves or secret corners, and whether there have been episodes in their life when deprivation of such familiar spaces led to undesirable consequences. Right, if you have encountered something similar. Point 7. Regularly interrupting the cat's sleep. It is very important to understand here. A cat should have the opportunity to sleep about 16 hours a day. I literally hear an inner voice. Lack of proper sleep sometimes turns into a tragedy for the feline tribe. For example, a stray cat in winter, if it cannot get enough sleep and warmth, often dies precisely from lack of sleep. Therefore, do not chase kittens out of entrances or warm corners in winter. For cats, it is a matter of survival. A cat that has not had enough sleep rapidly loses its life energy. And cats, like us humans, have phases of rapid and deep sleep. Just as we can see dreams and even talk during them, cats during rapid sleep can also make funny sounds and communicate in their sleep. However, they're nocturnal hunters and therefore prefer to rest during the day. The biggest foolishness is to deprive them of this habit, constantly disturbing the sleeping kitten for interaction. When the kitten naps and you start tugging it, it's better to let the whole world wait. That is my firm belief. Point 8. Unsuccessful jokes. The internet is indeed full of all sorts of videos where cats amusingly stumble or are startled while dressed in tiny costumes. For a person, this may seem like a funny spectacle, but for the cats themselves, such situations bring little joy. Remember the famous cucumber prank? Although at first glance it seems quite harmless, it actually provokes a powerful surge of stress in the pet. Researchers have concluded that such pranks can cause not only temporary, but also prolonged tension. People usually quickly forget about the incident, whereas the cat, on the contrary, can suffer a weakened immune system or even encounter an exacerbation of chronic diseases. As a result, the owner wonders, was she scared of a cucumber? But the cause could be herpes or some other infection that had been dormant in the body and suddenly activated. And the most unfavorable consequence of such pseudo-funny pranks is the sudden change in the cat's perception of its own home as an unsafe place. The dwelling begins to seem much more dangerous to them, and changing this belief is not easy and sometimes impossible. Imagine a cat that lives under the same roof with humans, but now is convinced that it cannot sleep peacefully here. Jokes with costumes fall into the same category. When an animal is dressed as some kind of doll, shark, or something else ridiculous, it certainly looks charming, but the costume itself restricts the cat, and it feels as if caught in a trap. The result, same stress. Point 9. New acquaintances. When something unfamiliar is introduced into the familiar environment for cats, the first reaction is curiosity. I wonder, did she run after it? But almost immediately, stress tension follows. Feline individuals always require more time to carefully observe and conclude that this new object does not pose a threat. Moreover, their adaptation periods are not like those of humans. Therefore, if you bring a new person into the home, be sure to forbid them from touching the cat right away. Do not reach out to it and try to pet it until the animal approaches for the first time on its own. To begin with, it's better to get used to the sounds behind a closed door, then slightly open it a bit, but do not let the cat out immediately. Then the pet must adapt to the scent. Do not forget, cats rely much more strongly on their sense of smell than on sight. It is important for them to make sense to recognize and then believe the new figure in the house. Let another day or two pass, and only after that can you let the cat out briefly. The main thing is not to try to artificially accelerate this process. Keep in mind, cats cannot bond with new faces overnight. So be patient, consider the characteristics of your tailed friends, and do not forget about their delicate emotional nature. This will help you maintain trust and ensure harmony in a home where the cat can feel safe, and new acquaintances and unexpected objects will cease to seem like threats. Again, Analysis of cat behavior has shown that slow and gradual acquaintance is the most important factor in establishing warm feelings between the purring cat and a new household member or person. This gradual approach is entirely possible using some items, such as blankets or toys, so that each creature becomes acquainted with the other's scent. If you suddenly bring another cat into the home without a transition period, even if it's a tiny kitten, there is a high probability that they will not become friends. Both pets may exhibit aggression or severe fear, and this negative experience can be imprinted in their memory for a long time. By the way, it is possible that one of your relatives or even you yourself once got to know your cat in such a way. Thus, there are definite signals indicating that the cat may dislike you or your loved one. Be sure to watch the following video. You will definitely recognize whether the cat feels love for you. If at least one of the 6 signs mentioned in that video is found in your relationship with the pet, it is worth reviewing your behavior a bit and adjusting your contact with it. And, friends, please let me know with your like that you would like to see more videos about cat psychology. Then I will undoubtedly record another episode. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for subscribing.